Dragon Ball is admittedly a series that has lacked when it comes to the female department in its show. Despite that, over the course of its long history, the franchise has actually had a surprising number of powerful female warriors. These fighters have proven their might throughout the series, and they deserve some recognition. In fact, the pool of female fighters from Dragon Ball is surprisingly diverse, ranging from humans, androids, Saiyans, and even gods. There are even a few women in the series who could give Goku and Vegeta a run for their money. However, I must mention this, we are only and strictly going to talk about the characters that are warriors or have fought in some capacity. So characters like Bulma or Mai will not be counted in this video. Also, only females from the main anime timeline and movies will be counted. I might also mention a character or two from the video games, however, since the pool of characters is large and diverse, I'd like to keep the video consistent, as video game characters scale much differently to the main anime timeline and the movies. So without further ado, let's give the ladies some love.
She's been at it for an hour. Man, I wish I had that kind of power.
Videl is the daughter of the self-proclaimed strongest man in the world, Mr. Satan. She is also currently the wife of the strongest Saiyan-human hybrid in existence. Inspired by her father's lifestyle of being a fighter, Videl grew up learning martial arts, hoping to be as great as Mr. Satan, when in fact, unknown to herself, she was already better and stronger than him. While being raised by her single father, she developed an independent, fierce, and strong-willed mentality. She isn't afraid to rise to any challenge and wants to prove she is stronger than anyone else. This was depicted when she blackmailed Gohan to enter the World Martial Arts Tournament, after discovering his secret identity. While Videl is nothing compared to her average Saiyan, she has displayed some feats that would make you question if she was ever human. From beating up armed thugs to fighting actual pro fighters, she has both the technique and strength to defeat almost any average human. Despite her small frame and petite body, her attacks pack some weight. Adding to the fact that she has learned the basic fundamentals of ki manipulation, she impressively learned how to fly. While Videl is certainly strong enough to be a very strong superhero if she was in something like the MCU, I'm afraid her limited knowledge of ki makes her one of the weakest fighters in the Dragon Ball series. Perhaps if she kept training and didn't stop after the Kid Buu saga by training either with Gohan or used gravity machines and heavy-weighted clothes, she could have been a bit higher on this list.
Tell me where Vegeta is.
So, the mother is a fighter too.
How dare you walk in here?
While often written off as simply Goku's wife, ChiChi's the OG female warrior when it comes to the original Dragon Ball series. Even as a young girl, she could actually go toe-to-toe against Kid Goku in a friendly sparring match. Being around so many competent warriors, ChiChi managed to hone her fighting skills and entered the 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi tournament, where she meets what would essentially be her future husband in the quarterfinals. In order to qualify for these tournaments, you normally have to advance through the preliminary rounds, which is much harder, essentially meaning you have to be one of the strongest people in the tournament to enter. When she meets Goku in the quarterfinals, she gets proposed by Goku after she confronts him about the promise to marry her, in which he thought marriage was some kind of food. Goku, being the stud he is though, proposes and then knocks out ChiChi by simply punching the air hard enough, causing vibrations to push her out of the ring. So people might think Videl and ChiChi is a close fight, and some would even say that Videl might be stronger due to her learning how to fly. However, ChiChi has displayed more impressive feats that could actually put her much higher on this list. Let's not forget that she trained Goten when he was young, forcing him to dodge her attacks and even pushed him to go Super Saiyan during the fight, and managed to somehow survive not being snapped in half when he kicked her. This is not to mention the many times Goku could have killed her by mistake, but she managed to survive. ChiChi's definitely durable. I mean, how else could she keep up with Super Saiyan Goku, knocking her out during the Cell Saga without killing her by mistake?
Stay still!
Anin, also known as the Supreme Elderly Lord, is a demigod and is the guardian of the sacred furnace of 8 divisions, the border between life on Earth and the other world. She is among one of the few beings working under King Yama that does not appear to be an ogre. She is also based on a character from Journey to the West known as Tai Shang, as the pronunciation of her Japanese name is taken from it. Tai Shang attempted to kill Sun Wukong by placing him inside of a mythical furnace, which was loosely adopted into the plot of this episode that Anin features in. Anin's name likely comes from the Chinese jelly dessert made with almond milk. The Japanese pronunciation of the Chinese word for almond is Anin. Anin demonstrates a high degree of control with her weapon, as well as superb reflexes and power beyond that of natural human strength. It is evident that Anin possesses a degree of strength far exceeding the capacity of Earthlings. This is implied due to her being capable of reducing an entire boulder to smithereen with the simple toss of a mere noodle bowl. In her base form, she is however outmatched by Goku in battle. The full extent of her strength is revealed through the giant form, where she is far more powerful than before. During her brief fight with Goku, she held the edge until Goku evened the odds using the Bansho fan. Therefore, Anin would be one of the first actual superpowered female characters in this list. While ChiChi indeed is powerful, she lacks the feats and abilities, unless you would like to believe that her tanking a Super Saiyan kick and being around Saiyans all the time made her around Namek levels of power levels, then she would obviously be much stronger in this list. However, I find it hard to believe, but let me know otherwise in the comments down below.
Sure are crazy around town today.
Yeah, it's not that often everyone comes back.
Where's Raditz?
Off-world. He's in the military now, teamed up with Prince Vegeta on some planet.
Gina is the mother of Goku. She is a full-blooded Saiyan warrior that appeared for the first time in 2014 in the manga special Dragon Ball Minus. She then appeared in the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly in movie 2018. Gina was Akira Toriyama's conception and sort of a retcon in some ways when it pertains to the Dragon Ball elements, in which he introduced the first full-blooded Saiyan that was actually gentle, kind-hearted, loving, cheerful, energetic, and caring personality, similar to her youngest son and both of her grandsons. As you know, Akira Toriyama has stated before that Saiyans don't really care about family. On the other hand, Gine managed to influence Bardock in the Dragon Ball Minus special and made his heart soften. I won't dwell much about the narrative any longer because, as you know, I already made an entire video called Who is the Real Bardock, in which I systematically explain and analyze what was wrong with it. Gine isn't an actual warrior, so I understand her being included on the list is questionable, but there are a lot of powerful female warriors that we have never seen fight, like Varos, the sister of Whis. Also, being a Saiyan, we would assume that she does know how to fight, typically. In addition, she lives in a planet Vegeta where the gravity is higher than Earth. So, in order to adapt to such harsh environments, her power level would be at the very least between 200 and 800 at max. A power level of 1000 is pushing it, to be honest, but that's as high as I would give her because her eldest son Raditz, being a Saiyan warrior, only mustered the power level of 1200.
Nothing. Take a seat. I killed everything here with my bare hands, including the bare hands. It's a pun!
Princess Snake is considered a deity herself. She is the goddess of the Snake Way. Her battle power was recorded to be around 900 in the Dragon Ball movie pamphlet. For reference, King Piccolo, one of the strongest villains in the original Dragon Ball, had only the power level of 260. She has the power to create illusions in her base form, tricking Goku to enter what looked like a fancy house, where she tried to seduce him and eat him, literally. But honestly, based on her reactions, she could have possibly had other ideas. While in her base form, she doesn't seem like much, as Goku could toss her around pretty easily. However, when transformed, she is able to breathe fire that hurts Goku and even chase him in the air. Although she gets outsmarted by Goku, she is still relatively strong at the time. And given her power level being around 900, I think she is probably stronger than the non-combative Saiyans like Gine.
東の海王、悟空は新入りとはいえかなりのパワーの持ち主じゃぞ。
そこま まで言うなら私がテストしてあげようじゃないの。
Isekai is the ruler, or rather overseer, of the East Quadrant of the galaxy. While she isn't technically canon as she only appeared in the filler saga of the Otherworld Tournament saga, Akira Toriyama supplemented those concepts of the four Kais to Toei Animation and even included South Kai in the manga, meaning East Kai does exist as well. Though we never seen her fight, we could assume she is at the same ballpark of North Kai. Whether she's stronger or a bit weaker wouldn't really change her placement on this list. King Kai was recorded with a battle power of 3500, so just to be safe, we could assume East Kai is the exact same.
冗談だ。この星も片付いたことだし、惑星ベジータに帰って会ってきたらどうなんだい?
FASA is the OG female Saiyan. She was what many fans used to theorize to be Goku's real mother. Reason being is that she is a member of Bardock's squad. She is a low-class warrior that proved to be strong enough to take over a planet like Kanasa, a difficult job even for the elites. The reason behind that is that Bardock's squad have been taking suicide missions in which they constantly survive and get Zenkai boosts. This made a character like Bardock increase his power level to 10,000. That is the same power level of King Vegeta, and more than twice than the strength of Nappa, who only has the power level of 4,000. I personally think Fasha would be around 3 to 4,000, maybe a bit higher or maybe less. However, given the fact that she can transform into an Ozaru, this will mean her power level would multiply by 10 as a result, making her stronger than East Kai. Miza, Iwaza, and Kikazi are characters that featured in the Moro arc in the Dragon Ball Super manga. After being freed from the galactic prison by Moro, they retake their spaceship and cause chaos. Although Master Roshi was able to almost beat them by utilizing the principles of Ultra Instinct, they fuse together and become even more powerful as a result. They could even give Krillin a lot of trouble and almost defeat him. This Krillin in Dragon Ball Super was strong enough to compete in the Tournament of Power. She caused a lot of trouble to Krillin and almost defeated him. However, she gets one-shotted by Goku.
My name is Krillin. Maybe you've heard of me. I'm a great fighter/hero from Earth. You'd do well to stay on your guard. I've already defeated Piccolo today. You might say I'm on a winning streak. You're a girl? Space chicks are hot!
Similarly to the previous entry on this list, Zanya is part of BoJack's squad. She appeared in the 9th Dragon Ball Z movie, BoJack Unbound. Zanya is cruel and merciless, being characterized as deadly beauty. Unfortunately for Krillin this time, instead of getting a kiss on the cheek, he gets one-shotted by Zanya. She is very strong and possibly the first character on this list to be Super Saiyan 1 tier. This was shown by the fact that Trunks had to go Super Saiyan in order to defeat one of the other BoJack soldiers. Also, while not by herself, Zanya, Bujin, and Bido were able to almost defeat a full-powered Super Saiyan Gohan, making Zanya one of the strongest female characters in the original Dragon Ball Z show, even more powerful than Android 18 was in Dragon Ball Z. Pan is Gohan's daughter, and just like her father, she is exceptionally gifted even at a young age. In fact, she may be even more talented than her father ever was, as evident with her being able to fly as a baby in Dragon Ball Super. She possesses hidden abilities and powers, and gets a big power boost whenever she's in rage. Although we haven't seen much of her in Dragon Ball Super yet, in Dragon Ball GT Pan is incredibly strong, and even though she was often overcome by most adversaries, she was still able to keep up against foes that were stronger than Majin Buu. While we never got to see her become particularly powerful in relation to the main cast, and she never even turned into a Super Saiyan, she still displayed some incredible powers, and I chose to rank her this high because she was able to face off against enemies like Generaldo and Baby and survive. Pan is definitely a character with lots of potential. Just imagine how strong she could become if she takes a route like her father did and gets her potential unlocked by the likes of the Elder Kai. Pan is still a very young character, and it's possible with Dragon Ball Super still going on, she could be relevant enough not only to be one of the strongest females, but also warriors in general.
風と空気を司る竜神論。
Another Dragon Ball GT character is Oceanana Shenron. She is a shadow dragon, which are evil beings created by the overuse and built up negative energies of the Dragon Balls over the course of the series. The Earth Shadow Dragons are the final villains in Dragon Ball GT. Oceanus is the dragon of water and wind. While not the strongest shadow dragon, she is able to fight against a base form Goku in Dragon Ball GT. This base Goku is incredibly strong, even stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku from DBZ. And while Goku managed to defeat Oceana Shenron, she was able to overwhelm the likes of Pan and prove to be stronger than her. However, like I said before, Pan has hidden powers and immense potential, so it could be likely that a rage boost could put her a bit higher on this list.
West Kai knew that their fight would be to the death.
West Supreme Kai is the Kaioshin of the West Quadrant of the universe. She is a god of creation and very powerful. She is a lot stronger than even the current Supreme Kai, possibly due to the fact of being older, and also completed her training under the Great Daikaio, or the Great Lords of Lords. The Supreme Kai of the West didn't have a lot of screen time. She appeared only in the flashback in Dragon Ball episode number 277, where Kapido Kai explains how the Kaioshins met their fates against the merciless Kid Buu. There we see a fight between West Kaioshin and Kid Buu, and she seems to be holding her own for a short while before being overwhelmed. I would personally put West Supreme Kai as super perfect Cell levels, or perhaps even higher, since the Burahu's relative to Cell was practically one-shotted by Majin Buu. So basically she's around Super Saiyan 2 level. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments down below.
Before this fight is over, you could be at Super Saiyan 3.
Wait, there's a 3?
Kefla is a Saiyan from Universe 6 in Dragon Ball Super who participates in Zeno's Tournament of Power. She is also the leader of a gang of Saiyan criminals. Additionally, she is a Saiyan with insane potential and also notorious for being one of the strongest Saiyans on planet Videl. She is even stronger in her base form than Kaba, who is one of the strongest fighters in Universe 6. Additionally, thanks to Kaba, she learns how to go Super Saiyan effortlessly while also maintaining the form for long periods with no issue. She later on conveniently pushes past the first level of Super Saiyan and acquires Super Saiyan 2 in order to stop Kale's rampage against Kaba. Although she doesn't master the form right off the bat, it is absolutely ridiculous and we haven't seen anything like this in the show. When confronting Goku, however, she reveals to have attained the Super Saiyan Grade 3 form, which immensely increases her power, but she sacrifices her speed, with Goku informing her that the form is a liability as a result. Goku helps Kefla achieve and maintain the Super Saiyan 2 level, where she effectively shows off the extent of her fighting prowess. Just like most Saiyans, she's a genius in battle and a master of adaptability. While Goku was fatigued with his fight against Jiren, Kefla was able to match Goku in combat, who was in the same form as her. Even pushed Goku to show off his legendary Super Saiyan 3, a form that Kefla aspires greatly to achieve. So while Kefla is not god level, she is still strong enough to contend with Goku's earlier Super Saiyan forms, which are a lot stronger than his DBZ counterpart. So it'd be criminal to think Kefla is simply super perfect Cell level. In fact, she can be argued to be levels above anything in DBZ based on how strong her base form is. Now, it is worth noting that Kefla in the manga could easily overwhelm base Kaba, but in turn is quickly overwhelmed when Kaba becomes a Super Saiyan. Although she manages to learn the transformation soon after, during the Tournament of Power she was no match for Final Form Frieza, who kicked her with enough force to send her flying into the central pillar of the arena and denting it on impact. He then mentions how Kefla in Super Saiyan is even stronger than Super Saiyan Goku on Namek was. It is likely that since Universe 6 characters are able to transform into Super Saiyan without a strong emotion, unlike most initial Super Saiyan transformations, thus obtaining this form without emotional buildup makes them not suffer from any strain mentally or physically. As such, they can access the form's full power and maintain it for longer durations. Also, it's called plot and terrible writing. Now, this is a little bit of a confusing one for me. Rebrianne's power isn't really consistent. Rebrianne is a female warrior from Universe 2. In her anime-only base form, Brianne is a human-like slender young woman with shoulder-length green hair. Upon transforming into Rebrianne, her more powerful alter ego, she becomes a lot more powerful. However, Rebrianne is an inconsistent character and can be debated to be weaker than Kifla based on the fact that she lost against a base form Goku. However, she does go toe-to-toe against a Super Saiyan Vegeta while holding her own against Android 17, who literally scales to Super Saiyan Blue Goku. After becoming angry and powering up, she shatters his barrier, which is not a feat to be snuffed at. In her second form, Super Rebrianne, in which she grows wings and becomes faster and stronger, to which Goku responds by using more of his base form power. In this form, Rebrianne is able to force base Goku on the defensive. However, she is easily knocked away by Super Saiyan Blue Goku and utterly terrified by Jiren. Rebrianne eventually loses to Android 18. Speaking of which... Artificial human number 18, originally named Lazuli, is an android creation by Dr. Gero. Designed to serve Gero's vendetta against Goku, she was too powerful to be controlled, and thus rebelled against the mad scientist. While originally Android 18 is around the first level of Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Grade 1 to be exact, as she demolishes by herself a post-Namek Saga Vegeta who just acquired the legendary Super Saiyan transformation. While Vegeta managed to hold his own for a while, he was arguably stronger than Super Saiyan 1 Goku during that time. Android 18 managed to overwhelm Vegeta thanks to her never-ending stamina, as the more Vegeta fought, the more energy he expended. This resulted to Android 18 breaking Vegeta's arm and defeating him in the process. On the other hand, when Vegeta comes out of the time chamber, he reveals to Cell the fruits of his training, where he powers up and unlocks a new improved variation of the first level of Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan Grade 2, a form so strong that Cell, who even before absorbing Android 17 was stronger than 18 herself. Cell absorbs Android 17 and was absolutely wrecked by Super Vegeta. This means this level of Super Saiyan makes Vegeta at least around 3 times stronger than 18. So you might ask, since 18 caps below Grade 2 level, how does she even have any right to be this high on this list and be argued to be more powerful than Kefla, who unlocked Super Saiyan 2? Well, thanks to the amazing writing of Dragon Ball Super and their love for proper power scaling, Android 18's strength was pushed to a level that can make you argue for her to be stronger than almost any threat in DBZ. She's so strong that she can fight almost on even ground next to Android 17, the same 17 who can box against a Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Now, I have said this before many times. I personally do not think the narrative intention was to indicate 17 is as strong as the Saiyan that viewers have prophesized to rival his power. But 17 being able to 1v1 Goku and not get embarrassed shows the leaps and bounds the characters in Dragon Ball Super are in terms of power level. In addition, 18 managed to beat Rebrianne and knock her out, which makes her more powerful as a result on this list. I think the androids in Dragon Ball Super were mishandled a little bit, as they could have at least gave us a reason or a mini training arc to indicate how strong did they get. Or at least go the lazier route and let Whis or Elder Kai somehow unlock their hidden potential, or maybe let Bulma somehow find a way to improve their biomechanical parts. But hey, this is a discussion for another video. Kale is by all intents and purposes the female version of Broly. She is the legendary Super Saiyan of Universe 6. Her transformation and fighting style resembles that of Broly. Her conception was clearly an homage to DBZ Broly, and just like Broly himself, in her base form, Kale appears to be a meek and timid individual, showing great insecurity and lack of self-confidence. She openly believes herself to be nothing special. She is also shown to be rather shy at meeting new people, even some as friendly as Goku. On the other other hand, this is a clear contrast to when she's going Super Saiyan, as when she's confronted by Kaba in order to enter the Tournament of Power, she falls into deep rage after she gets jealous over Kifla. Her rage spirals and makes her enter the Berserker state. She immediately calls out Kaba and viciously attacks him in an attempt to kill him. Kale almost succeeds, however Kifla managed to awaken her Super Saiyan 2 state and save Kaba's life by deflecting Kale's Ki Blast. This is not the only time that Kale's jealousy gets the best of her, as she does the same thing against Goku when he's fighting Kifla. Her anger and power grows while her sense of rationale dwindles. She becomes obsessed with defeating Goku and harbors malice against him. She recklessly fights against a Super Saiyan 2 Goku, even forcing him on the defensive. Goku fights back by transforming into Super Saiyan Blue, causing one of the most controversial moments in the Tournament of Power, as Kale not only tanks Goku's Kamehameha, but also walks through it unscathed, making it seem as she is a lot stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Although it was later revealed that Goku was holding back his power against her. It is still impressive how she managed to be a big threat that everyone in the tournament stopped fighting, as Kale unleashes a blaster meter everywhere, eliminating 3 from the tournament and wrecking the arena. One of them was a Pride Trooper. This causes Jiren, the strongest man in the tournament at that time, to personally interfere and one-shot her. Her transformation was initially triggered by her built-up anger or repressed emotion, and due to her continued lack of control, which would burn through huge amounts of energy quickly. However, due to her growing and finding emotional resolve, she came to gain proper control of that power, being able to access it with no visible drain or stamina issues. During the tournament, her mere screams created large craters in the ground despite it being made of Kachikachin. In her more calm and controlled state, she fights against a Super Saiyan 2 Goku who was fatigued after his fight against Jiren and managed to push him. Yet when Goku transformed into Super Saiyan 3, he seems to display far more power than both Kale and Kifla. So while she isn't God mode tier, she is still strong enough to fight against an experienced Super Saiyan 2 Goku, making her incredibly powerful, even stronger than someone like Zamasu, who was described to be a Supreme Kai prodigy and couldn't handle Goku's SSJ2 power. She's also stronger than both Kefla and Kaba. The only questionable thing here is whether she's actually stronger than Android 18. This in itself isn't very clear, well, at least for me, because if we choose to say Android 18 is as strong as 17, then she's definitely stronger than Kale. While I'm not using their manga counterparts, as these characters scale differently to the manga. However, I will mention that Android 18 demolishes OG 73 with Android 17. So in her own right, she is very strong. So perhaps manga 18 is stronger than manga Kale, but let me know what you guys think.
I won't be outdone by anybody. I'll just have to up my own game too!
They figured out how to reach Super Saiyan 2 as Kefla!
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about!
Kefla is the Potara fusion of Kale and Kifla. She is the strongest female mortal we have seen, making her the strongest female Saiyan we have seen in the series as well. Kefla's demeanor is almost identical to Kifla's personality. This is because the Potara earrings assumes the dominant personality, hence why Vegito acts more like Vegeta. However, this is counterbalanced by Vegito having the physique of Goku. This is also evident and similar with the case of Kefla. Despite her immense confidence in her power, Kefla also seems to retain some of Kifla's respect towards Goku, outright calling him a worthy opponent. With this union, Kefla gains immense strength. Just her base strength alone, she managed to move in speeds that Super Saiyan God Goku can't even keep up with. She was so powerful that simply powering up managed to shake the arena, in which Goku remarks that he can't even measure her power, as it seemed like it had no end to it. The Potara fusion is very powerful, as Goku in God mode absolutely outclassed both Kale and Kifla in a 1v2 battle, almost eliminating them in the process. Although fatigued, Goku in God mode couldn't keep up with Kefla in her base. Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue, which is a lot stronger than Super Saiyan God, debated to be 50 times stronger, since the whole concept of Super Saiyan Blue is going Super Saiyan while in God mode. Kefla replied to Goku by going Super Saiyan herself, leveling the difference Goku created. Despite Goku running on fumes in terms of his stamina, he once again reduces the deficit in power gap by going Kaioken on top of his Super Saiyan Blue. This gives Goku the slight edge before Kefla managed to get a hit on Goku and take him out of Super Saiyan Blue. Upon almost being defeated, Goku once again reactivate Ultra Instinct Sign or Ultra Instinct Omen, and that's where the tide of battle completely shifts in Goku's favor. In spite of Kefla, who claims in her Super Saiyan 2 state that she has the power to completely destroy the universe in a single blow. However, unfortunately for her, as soon as Goku transcends the power of the gods and utilizes the abilities of an angel, Kefla isn't able to lay a single hand on Goku, being outclassed and ultimately lost to Goku using his divine Kamehameha. Honestly, Kefla is often downplayed. Not many give credit on how truly strong she is. She is possibly one of the strongest fighters in the Tournament of Power right after Jiren. Her power alone can be argued to be stronger than Super Saiyan Blue. She's even stronger than Hit himself, making her the strongest warrior in Universe 6. The Potara remains to be one of the strongest items in the Dragon Ball franchise. However, this must be mentioned, Kefla in the manga is a lot more weaker and doesn't display nearly as much as the same fighting prowess as she did in the anime. She in fact doesn't even fight Ultra Instinct Goku and loses the fight against Gohan. So again, manga characters and anime characters scale differently. Just like Beerus, who scales a lot differently in the manga thanks to Utaro, who likes Beerus a lot. However, Kefla is indeed the strongest mortal female on this list.
これぞ第二宇宙戦士最高の晴れ姿。人間レベルは及ばずとも、愛のレベルは全宇宙一。
Hales is the god of destruction of Universe 2. Her design is inspired by Egyptian mythology, and she's prominently the only female god of destruction. She, alike all Hakaishins, are very powerful by nature. The god of destruction stand in a place above the mortal realm. They have strength that is deemed incomprehensible. Just a fraction of their strength can destroy planets. Characters who have powers that break through dimensions are absolute fodder to them. They possess the power to use Hakai, a technique that can erase almost anything on the molecular level that it ceases to exist. Characters that die this way cannot even be wished back, as Hakai has the power to erase your soul, as evident with Beerus erasing a ghost from existence who also happens to be a gag character. Even a fragment of their Hakai energy is enough to threaten the life of Golden Frieza, who struggles greatly and had to muster immense willpower in order to control its power. However, it must be noted that in terms of the manga, Beerus mentions that Vegeta can be considered to be a god of destruction candidate after mastering Super Saiyan Blue, making this form the lowest power required to be considered qualified. This could be reaffirmed by the gods reacting to Goku also going Super Saiyan Blue in front of them, as they seem to be incredibly shocked that a mortal has the power of the gods. This means each god of destruction and their combat ability varies. This was proven when we found out that Beerus lost in an arm wrestling match against one of the other gods. Also, Belmod, the god of destruction of Universe 11, was stated by Whis to be stronger than Beerus, though it seems that Beerus thinks that he wouldn't lose to him. Since the god of destruction governs the fate of their respective universe, it should be a base requirement that each Hakaishin could potentially have the power to wipe out their respective universe. This should extend to Hales herself, who should have this power as well. Her scaling to Beerus also puts her above the Super Saiyan Blue level. Now, whether she is stronger than Ultra Instinct Goku or not is an entirely different story. Kefla herself mentions she has the power to destroy the universe, making her potentially a character who could qualify for being a god of destruction. However, due to her being inexperienced in her Super Saiyan powers, and Hales being a god of destruction who lived through thousands, if not millions of years, I think Hales should be stronger than Kefla. However, let me know if you disagree. Now, before we go to the strongest character on this list, I would like to give some honorable mentions to some characters and explain why they didn't make the list despite being powerful. For example, Android 21 would have easily made the list and could have possibly been one of the strongest characters on this video. However, I refrain from using video game characters on my videos since these characters scale much differently than the main timeline. For example, the Supreme Kai of Time Chronoa is insanely strong compared to characters from Dragon Ball Super, for the mere fact that she has demonstrated the feat to merge multiple timelines together. She was even said to hold the entire multiverse with her sheer strength alone. This in itself is a feat that is more impressive than anything Canon Zeno has done. However, the God of Time Chronoa isn't even strong compared to the rest of the characters from Dragon Ball Heroes, and could potentially get one-shotted by pretty much everyone, including characters that are weaker than Goku and Vegeta. So if I'm allowed to justify Chronoa being this strong on this list, then I should by proxy use the video game counterparts of each characters on this list. This is also the same with Toa, who if included would possibly be the strongest character on this list. However, I think I might save Toa for a video for her alone where we dive into how strong she truly is. But since she's a video game character, I didn't want to include her on this list as well. So I hope this clears things out, but without any delay, let's go to the strongest character on this list.
聞いたかベジータ、姉上だってよ。
身のこなしに隙がない。おそらくウィスと同等の技の使い手だ。
I think it shouldn't be a surprise that the angels are unequivocally the strongest beings in their respective universe. This is because the angels are in a constant, perpetual state of ultra instinct. Unlike mortals such as Goku can only use the technique by tying it to a transformation, it is the angels' natural state of being as their bodies are attuned to the technique automatically, meaning they can always use it without thought even out of combat situations. This gives incredible advantage over any opponent they face. They possess immense knowledge, immeasurable speed, and a plethora of powerful abilities like reversing time, and even bringing back the dead. While angels aren't permitted to use their power to interfere with threats, they sometimes can use their powers to subdue the god of destruction and prevent them from going out of control. This was seen when Beerus ate the wasabi and went on a rampage destroying planets, in which Whis interfered and one-shotted him. It is practically fact that angels are stronger than gods, and this extends to the other angels from the other universes as well. Even Varos, the sister of Whis, trained her brother at one point and believes she is stronger than him. However, it must be noted that Whis thinks that's in the past and he's stronger now. However, just the mere fact that angels scale to each other shows the cap they have against the gods of destruction. This should also be true with the other female angels who should be levels above their Hakaishins. Angels like Kuso of Universe 10, Vados of Universe 6, and Margarita of Universe 11, these angels stand as the highest ranking female characters as of now.
All right, you better stay out of this! You're just a jealous old lady. Why, you? That does it! I hope you like black and blue, cause you're gonna be wearing it for a while!
It is really nice to see how Dragon Ball isn't completely absent of significant female figures and warriors. These female characters are just as prominent with some really cool variations. In fact, I could argue they have some of the most diverse character pool, and compared to the male characters, you don't have to be useful by simply being strong, as evident with someone like Bulma. So let me know, who is your favorite female warrior? Also tell me if you agree or disagree with this list. But please keep in mind that my ranking list could sometimes be subjected to changes depending on what happens in the anime show. Speaking of which, I already made a new ranking video last week, so please check that out, and if you have any video requests, let me know in the comments down below. But nonetheless, like I always say, please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.